Friday. It's Friday. We finally got here. And it's Luncheon News with DotSale. Let's get straight into it. Yeah. This one's gonna be fun. You never know what you're gonna get on Luncheon News with DotSale. You never know what you're gonna get. And that's the fun thing about it, right? We don't follow trends. We don't follow what everybody else is doing. We think for ourselves over here. And because of that, I think we're gonna have a lot of fun today. It's gonna be a little bit unexpected, misdirected. But it's Feel Good Friday, y'all. Like, man, and you know, on Fridays, we usually do something a little bit different on Fridays. Like, we don't necessarily get into a lot of the more depressing, negative, really tough topics. We kind of stray away from that on Fridays, or we try to at least. So, you know, for this one, we're going to be talking about Taylor Swift. And you might be saying, you don't know nothing about Taylor Swift. Well, you're right. You're right. I don't know a lot about Taylor Swift. I mean, I know the basics about Mrs. Swift, all right? Might be Mrs. Kelce soon, although I think she'd keep her last name if they did get married. What do y'all think? You think she might hyphenate it? She got to keep the Swift name. It's her whole brand. Anyways, my thing is this, right? Something that we got to talk about. We're not going to talk about it from the same point of view that other people are talking about it from. So we're going to get into that. But first, I got to get y'all fed. I have got to get y'all fed first. So let's go ahead and get into it right now. Now, I do want to say this. I tried to figure it out, and I just wanted to see what was going on, because I was going to actually, since we're talking about Mrs. Swift, I was going to prepare some of her food. But as far as what Google's saying, she only eats fast food. Although she'll bake and stuff here and there. And we don't make baked goods here. We have wholesome meals, usually more on the healthy side, most of the time. And, you know, we might have a cheat day here or there. But, you know, says she likes In-N-Out burgers, and she goes to her favorite restaurants and all that. She'll go to a dinner party, you know, and different things like that. So she's always on the go. She doesn't really get home cooked food. So we'll do it a little bit different than what she was going to have. You know, I was trying to allow her to have her meal if she wants to tune in. Yeah, we're gonna go to Make It Dairy Free. This guy actually has two channels. We've seen his other channel, but this is a different channel that he has. But I really like his content, so we're gonna go vegan spaghetti and meatballs. All right, how about that? Let's get through it real quick. All right. We'll let him get his intro off first, though. Again, his channel name is Make It Dairy Free, all right? And at this time, he has 253,000 subscribers. 250,000 subscribers for this guy. He's doing very well for himself. Congratulations.
Yeah. Today, we're making a classic recipe. And outside of the noodles, everything is created completely from scratch. This easy, guaranteed, homemade delicious sauce is going to be a family favorite. And don't underestimate these Say Uncle meatballs, because one taste will certainly have you forget that you were looking for Waldo. Let's go. Add a little olive oil.
So we're gonna get through it quick.
Once you start to see that brown on the bottom of your, quickly adding in the rest of your ingredients. Outside of add the rest of my ingredients in. From here, in no particular, I try to measure out all of my seasonings and add them.
We've actually used him more than once. This is his third time, not on this specific channel. I didn't even know he had this channel, but it's our third time using him. He's definitely a favorite on Luncheon News with DotSale.
With your bay leaf, push it to the bottom, then give everything a.
We'll speed it up. And again, if you want to check this out, the actual title of it is easy homemade vegan spaghetti and meatballs.
Now,
all right.
it typically helps.
So you put in his channel name, you can find it,
to chef up those meatballs
and definitely get the whole recipe. Maybe make this over the weekend.
Completely soaked up. Now for this next part, balls and get
very
them onto
healthy.
that baking tray.
He made the meatballs from scratch. He made them. That's crazy.
Because you were using whole tomatoes and you have to smooth it out. Also, to dip that stuff in,
I want to get to the finished product.
Wherever your heart desires.
Let's get to the finished product.
But I haven't tried it. What?
Until now.
Why? All right, family. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like.
And he's going to have some vegan cheese on there as well. Vegan Parmesan. Let's see. Can we get an image of it? All right, there we go right there. That is lunch right there. Mm-hmm. That looks very, very good. I'm going to wait to have mine. But all of you can go and have yours right now. All right? So go over there. We got a whole big pot of vegan spaghetti and meatballs. If you want to throw like some garlic bread in there or something like that, go ahead. I'm not having any bread right now, but if you want to have it like that, and if you want to have a glass of wine, we're going into the weekend. If you want to have a glass of wine, you can do that too. Was it red wine that goes with spaghetti? Or is it white? I don't know. I don't keep up with the whole wine thing like that. And I also don't keep up with Taylor Swift like that, which is the reason why today we are going to let the Swifties speak. We're going to hear from the Swifties, all right? Because, like, honestly, when I look at things, I look at it a lot deeper than just what's going on the surface level. I never really just look at things and then just hear what all the talking points are, but I want to begin to start to dive deeper into everything. So with that, I started to look at the question of what's going on with Taylor Swift fans. And because of that, I thought about it and I was like, all right, well, are they treacherous? And that's what I decided to use in the thumbnail. And so the definition is guilty or involving betrayal or deception, right? And you can look at it as, untrustworthy would be a synonym of that. And I want to begin to understand that. So we're going to break this down surgically. And we're going to go through a lot of different videos from supporters and also fair weather fans, and then people that have completely turned their back on her at this point. But first, I want to precede that and just talk about Taylor a little bit. And so let's actually, you know what? How do I want to approach this? All right, let's do it like this. Let's just quickly run down through her relationships, and I think we can do it like this. Let's get one of her, let's get her on the screen real quick. Yeah, we'll get her on the screen real quick, and we'll just have her pulled up. So we'll get her right here. All right. And let me move this. Just want to get this all set up correct for y'all. You want to put a graphic up there for her? I'll throw a graphic up there for her real quick. I think I got one. Yeah, we'll get it done right. Let's go ahead and let's throw this up here. Let's get her and Travis up there over in the corner. We'll just throw that up there. We'll just have that there. We'll let that sit there while we talk, all right? And I just want to go over some of her relationships and kind of correlate that to the way that her fans act with her, right? And we'll go through them really quick. She started off, had an early relationship with Brandon Borillo, high school boyfriend. Inspired some early songs like Tim McGraw, right? And, she had him, that was like 2008. She was with a guy, Joe Jonas, fall 2008. Taylor Lautner, fall 2009. 2010. John Mayer, 2010 again, rumored. These are all rumored, I guess. Corey Monteith, if I'm saying that right. I'm not going to try to pronounce this guy's last name, but if you're a Swiftie, you know what I'm talking about. A guy named Cenk Glenalahan. That was around like 2010 to 2011, right? 2012, 2013, we got Connor Kennedy. That was the summer of 2012. Harry Styles, very popular Harry Styles now. Very paparazzi heavy relationship, late 2012, early 2013. She went out with a guy named Calvin Harris in 2015, 2016, all right? Then she got with Tom Hiddleston. This is the summer of 2016. I'm not done yet. We got a lot more to go. All right. Joe Alwyn, she was with. This looked like her longest relationship and most private, they're saying. 6 years plus. 6 years plus. So, she had that one. Very long relationship. Looked like that one was going to last, but no, it did not. In 2023, she got with Maddie Healy in the spring. So immediately after breaking up with Joe, that same year, spring. So I guess within a few months, she was with Maddie. Yeah, brief romance with the 1975 frontman. Okay, all right. We're trying to get through these quick. And then that brings us to her current relationship with Kansas City Chiefs NFL star, right? And this kind of brought her to a wider audience, actually. I mean, honestly, a lot of the NFL people, hardcore, probably, unless their wives are playing, they have no idea who Taylor is or, for the most part, listen to any of her music. So that's where we're at now. So I just had to go through the plethora of relationships that she's been in and kind of make a little bit more sense of what's going on as far as Mrs. Swift. Now, we're going to come back to this one right here a little bit later. We'll come back to this a little bit later, but I just want to start off and let the Swifties speak. This isn't about me, right? This is not about me. This is more about what's going on with Mrs. Taylor and her fans, right? So I want to let them speak, all right? I want to give them a voice, and I want to give them a platform to air their grievances. So I think we'll do it like this, and I got this set up kind of systematically, but we'll start with this, which is an overall view of everything that's being said. Let's have her speak.
Sorry, it's still so crazy to me to see how many Taylor Swift fans are making a mass exodus from her fan base right now. Like, how did it take you guys this long to realize she's a terrible person? I am a certified anti-Swiftie, and I keep seeing all these other certified anti-Swifties making videos saying things along the lines of, I don't know why her fans that don't like this album are so surprised with how bad it sounds, because what you're hearing right now is what we've been hearing the entire time. The only difference between this album, The Life of a Showgirl, and her other albums is that this album, she's being very blatant, saying verbatim who she is and what she's about. The only difference between this album, The Life of a Showgirl, and her other albums is that her other albums are wrapped up in these like cryptic pseudo-intellectual poems that sound nice, but the underlying message is still the same. Don't get it twisted.
One of the things that has been said about Taylor is that she's the modern Shakespeare with the way that she crafts her lyrics and different things like that. So when she talks about cryptic messages and all these hidden meanings and double entendres like a battle rapper, you hear battle rappers, I understand that community. And, they'll use a lot of different metaphors and basically they're saying that Swiftie has the wordplay of a goddess. Like, you have to be in tune to understand what she's saying.
Underlying messages in her entire discography have always been the same. It's always been, I'm a girl's girl until I see another woman daring to be her authentic self. I'm a girl's girl until I see another woman surpassing my success. I'm a girl's girl until I see another woman who looks better than me and gets picked by a man that I wanted and I didn't get. I'm a girl's girl until another woman holds me accountable to my own shortcomings. Then Taylor Swift is always the victim, never fails. And she's always been this ultimate pick-me girl on this faux pseudo-feminist BS. Like, one song, she'll talk about feminism and squad goals and girls sticking together and female friendships. And then the next song, she'll tell you that she has no problem sticking by a man's side who has a history of degrading, abusing women, misogyny, racism, as long as he picks her and treats her differently. And it benefits.
Stop.
I don't know. I'm already seeing how this pattern's about to go. Seems like how a lot of women are, but we're going to keep listening. I want to let her, this is a long video, so we ain't going to listen to all of it, but we're going to give her a little bit more time on the mic. I wanted to start off with her video because she's breaking it down from a lot of different standpoints, and then the other ones we hear are going to be direct from one side or the other.
Her socially, professionally, but when that social professional currency dries up, that's when she'll leave. That's what gets her to leave. And then yet again, Taylor Swift never fails to be the victim, because in the next album, she'll sing all about how she was that man's victim, even though she knew who he was the entire time. Make it make sense. She quite literally gaslights her fans. And let's not forget the exploitation factor of it all. This woman claims to be the morality police, but is simultaneously a billionaire, and there is no such thing as a moral billionaire. To become a billionaire, you have to find a way to exploit people in one way or another, and she has mastered that. She is a master manipulator and exploiter, and I'm glad that more people are catching on to this, because she has manipulated her fans into believing that she is the perpetual victim, while she uses the struggles of those who she's an alleged victim of, substance abuse, sexualities, personal and mental health struggles, as props in her world to prop herself up to make more money and make herself look better in the public eye and maintain victim status. And she's...
So I just want to talk a little bit about what she's talking about the money aspect and her being a billionaire. I don't think she can prevent herself from being a billionaire, and here's why. When you're in the entertainment space and you have a lot of people, including this woman, that follows you and listens to all of your work, you can't help but make money off it. And the reason why is because it's one of the most lucrative things as far as making money, period, because at that point, you basically have, I guess you can call it a whole bunch of bosses or a whole bunch of customers, however you look at it. Because if you piss them off, then they might not want to support you anymore. But also, so they are your bosses because you have to appease them in a way. But then at the same time, they're also your clients, because all of these people, she's got 10 million people that want to listen to her, buy her tickets, whatever. And they're all basically contributing like $100 to her. Now, 10 million times 100, I mean, you get to billionaire status very quick when it's reoccurring. So she doesn't have a choice but to be rich because of her fame. Eyes equal dollars in this world that we live in right now, however you look at it. Even if it's not direct peer-to-peer where they're just paying her, just AdSense alone and just advertisements surrounded by the people that want to get paid for her views are going to accumulate a lot of money. So it's impossible for her to not be rich. So I think that is kind of disingenuous to say that that's the reason that she acts the way that she acts. Plus, if you got that much money, does it really matter after a certain point? She could probably spend like $10,000 a day and not be broke for like 1,000 years.
Making billions of dollars from it. I'm sure everybody has heard this phrase before. Every accusation from a narcissist is actually a confession. And while I believe the term narcissist is greatly overused, in the case of Taylor Swift, I do think it's appropriate. She has no issue making music, openly discussing her own personal struggles as a woman, as a human being, about her addictions, mental health, sexuality, to garner public sympathy and relatability. However, as soon as somebody else does that better than her, she finds a way to reinvent herself and use their struggles as a character flaw to prop herself up to look like she has moral high ground over them. She is a self-proclaimed tomboy who's boring and wears t-shirts and is often overlooked by men because she is not a bad bitch, and that women who are cheerleaders get more attention than she does and it hurts her feelings. But then makes an entire album about how she is a showgirl and gets picked by men. Make it make sense. She makes music hinting at her homoerotic relationships with other women and then releases that music after those women get married. Make no mistake, hinting is absolutely outing and exploiting people for their sexuality. But don't worry, guys. It's okay, because she released Welcome to New York and said, it's okay if boys like boys and it's okay if girls like girls. She finds ways to manipulate people and cover her tracks so it looks like she has moral high ground over them. She can write and release entire albums about her own personal struggles with alcoholism and substance use, the men who drove her to do those things, and the men that she stayed with who were substance abusers. However, the second that a woman is open about those things, she will quickly turn into the morality police to prop herself up and throw those women under the bus. I think it's amazing to constantly evolve and reinvent yourself, learn from past trauma, and get...
Yeah, Yeah, so you're kind of hearing a little bit about this is a woman that follows her intensely. So I had to let her speak a little bit just because I don't have the time nor the capacity to take in everything that Taylor Swift has said. However, I'm not looking at it from a fan standpoint. I'm looking at it more from, I don't really look at it anything at surface level. I try to dig way deeper into the core of the issue. And what I'm seeing right now is an extreme disconnect. And I want to go into this other one. Let's see. Let's check this one out. And then we're going to actually go retro. We're going to go retroactively. We're going to go back a year after this. And we're going to look at another fan that turned on her for the reason that the fans now are turning on her for the opposite reason. I know it doesn't make much sense now, but it will when we get to it. All right.
Judge my physical and my physical as well as my mental fitness.
It has been really fun to watch the Swifties crash out on the internet over this new album that Taylor Swift just released. And it's not the fact that this is a bad album. I mean, it is inferior to her previous work, both lyrically and musically speaking. And it's not even the fact that she is coming across as a mean girl, insecure, punching down at other artists. What's bothering people, and as it should, is the fact that she's coming across as racist. She's coming across as transphobic. She is essentially serving the Republican agenda in song form, and people are pissed about it, as they should be, as they really should be, because, people are recognizing that she is a brand. This brand has been changing. It's not cool anymore to align with Kamala Harris, to be an ally, to speak on behalf of marginalized communities, to push for people's rights. Now, in this political climate, we are looking for people to punch out some white babies and make the street look exactly like them. Straight from her wish list song, right? Or listen to her song Canceled.
The wish list song, and we'll get into that a little bit later, or it'll come up throughout the show. But basically, the wish list song, she basically said, I'm ready to have babies that look like you. I'm kind of abandoning the whole I'm a cat mom, I'm a dog mom situation. And now I'm ready to have kids. And I want them to look like you, which would technically look like Travis Kelce, assuming they stay together, which isn't promised based off of all the history that we've seen from her. But they don't like this. They don't like it. We'll let her finish.
It is really obvious. People are saying she's not political. She says she's not political, but this album is making a very strong political statement. And if you're not getting that, I would very much encourage you to listen to the actual words. They're not deep, but this album is full of microaggressions. And
I thought she was Shakespeare. You just called her Shakespeare when you supported her before. All right, let's see.
Statements.
Swift
The consumer is just smarter. This is not necessarily going to be great for Taylor Swift. Even though she doesn't care, she's a billionaire. People know that the only power we truly have is how we spend our dollars. So stop buying the shit. Don't listen to the album anymore. Don't buy the multiple versions that she comes out with. Don't go watch the movie. Don't get the merch. Don't go to the concerts.
All right. So we're going to leave it here, right? And you said, you talking about this first one? You talking about her? She was hating? Yeah, she had a lot to say.
Clean. You'd think that somebody who went through all of that would be constantly uplifting other people who are currently struggling, instead of constantly finding new ways to exploit and monetize their struggles. As somebody,
yeah, and I'm a hold my opinion on all of this until I've heard all of the dialogue as far as what everybody's saying about Mrs. Swift, because we got a lot of people to get to. Now, here, with this girl right here, this is current. This is right now, right? This is like today, like yesterday, right? This is after the album drop. Now, Mrs. Swift is a Republican. But what I want to do, and I did the work for you, so you don't have to do it. And it was very, very grueling and painstaking. And yeah, I think I might have a little bit of wine with my spaghetti after I get done with all of this. But I want to go back here, and this one is very, very interesting. This one is very, very interesting. I want to break down this story about a person that is the exact opposite of this woman right here, literally only 1 year ago when Taylor Swift decided to support the Democratic Party, specifically Kamala Harris. This woman right here went absolutely viral for selling her tickets, canceling her support for Taylor Swift, and saying that she is anti-Christian. All right? Now, we know how it goes. Republicans, Christian, liberals, atheists is the main thing of it, or non-religious. That's the main part of it. It gets a little deeper than that. But let's go into this woman and let's go through her stories. And we got a lot of videos on here, but we'll do them quickly because we're not going to listen to everything she has to say, but we'll get all her main points.
What I'm about to say may come as a shock to many people, but I really believe in standing up for what is right. And I believe, my voice is shaking. What Taylor Swift did last night was not only distasteful, it was absolutely appalling. To release a statement like that, standing up for a woman like Kamala during one of the most important elections of our lifetime, if not the most important election of our lifetime. I've always called myself a Swiftie. I've always stood by Taylor. But at this point, I just really am appalled by what she did. And so I want to help other Swifties out there. If you are also appalled and if you have tickets to her show in Miami, please reach out to me. I will do everything.
So basically, this is about a year ago. And now I proceeded with her, actually. We're going to go to the other woman now. So basically at that time, she had the opposite, right? So the people now that are upset with her, right, were happy with her last year because she was supporting their side, right? They don't necessarily rock with Swift. They'll turn coat at any moment. But now that Mrs. Swift has become racist, that's what they're saying. We're going to get into that too. We will get into that.
You're racist.
And she's not rocking out with the Democratic Party and supporting Kamala anymore. Well, they're upset. But here, just a year ago, I wonder if this woman is now going to become a Swift fan again. Let's see.
Message for Taylor Swift from a concerned mother.
Although I know it's
okay. This is from last year around the election time when Taylor Swift was rocking out with Kamala Harris and supporting her in the Democratic Party.
probably a long shot. It'll never get to you. Hey, it's worth a shot. One, I think it's really interesting how you had that one long
This video
letter
went viral.
for all your fans.
Viral.
Already printed out 2 seconds after Kamala and Donald Trump had their debate, which only tells me you already had this written up before the debate, which also tells me that you did not have an open mind. Kamala lied to everyone on that stage. And those of us that know. Taylor, you are a billionaire. The rest of us are not. The rest of us are struggling.
Again, I want to know what y'all feel about how the money impacts all of this. Her being a billionaire, does it necessarily matter? And I think about it myself. If I was a billionaire, would I really change who I am? I don't think so. I think that money only makes you more of what you already are. So whatever she was before she got rich, I don't think she ever changed from that. I think she's the same person she was before she was rich, although she's never been broke in the first place.
People can't afford homes. Some of us are losing our businesses. And if Harris gets into office, our economy is screwed. But I know that doesn't affect you because, you've got all that money, private plane.
And some people will say that now, because we can look at this, because we're, maybe 15 months into the future, possibly? A little less than that. No, not even that long. This is probably only about 10 months into the future. Let me see, when was this posted? I'll give you the exact date. Okay, this is 2024, September 2024, so almost just exactly a year ago is when this was posted. So now we can look at it today and say, well, how's the economy doing, right? And, you can judge that for yourself. Might be better for some, worse for others.
You just don't even live in that kind of world. So it really seems to me like the issue at hand here is LGBTQ rights and aborting babies. And neither one of those are affected under Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the right guy for the job. If the economy of the United States suffers, the whole world suffers, Taylor. And if the whole world suffers,
All right,
I was going to take my...
You get basically what she's saying. So now this is where we're going to really get into this. She's going to bring her daughter into this for whatever reason. And then she's going to begin to talk about she's selling her Taylor Swift tickets and she no longer supports her. This was a woman that literally just supported her probably like a month before. Maybe like 2 weeks before. Maybe even just the day before she put this video out. This woman right here, it looks completely insane where I stopped the video at, not on purpose, was just a fan for her. Just spent thousands of dollars more than likely on tickets for her, her daughter, and someone else. I believe she bought 3 tickets. And now here she is, completely changing course on Mrs. Swift.
13-year-old, she turns 13 that day, as a special gift because she's been a Taylor Swift fan forever. I was going to take her to this concert, but my tickets are now up for sale because I don't want to spend another dollar supporting you and your private planes and your non-Christian beliefs. I also don't want my daughter, my Christian daughter, to believe that it's okay to do things that are against God's word, like killing babies. So with that, I'm going to shake it off and I'm done with you.
Okay, I just want to look at this real quick before we go back into it, because the money thing comes up and they talk about Taylor Swift from an aspect of how much money she has. Now, this woman says she supports Donald Trump. I just want to go to his actual net worth, all right, because I don't really know what the hell is going on. There's so much double talk and so much circle talk that it's very confusing. But I just want to go here and say that as of 2025, right, the person that she just says she supports and says she doesn't like Taylor Swift because she's a billionaire. Well, Donald Trump, they're saying is worth $58 billion. What are we doing with the whole money aspect? I don't really think it matters how much money you have. That's going to determine if you're a good person or not. And I see this from a lot of people where they'll hate somebody just because they have a lot of money. I just think it's completely insane. And I don't understand it whatsoever. But again, if you don't want to look at it like that, then you can't support Trump either because he's worth a whole lot of money. Way more than Mrs. Taylor, actually. Surprisingly. Just in cryptocurrency alone. I mean, damn, 58 billion. Yo, got hold some. The president could get us all out of debt right now out of his own pocket. All right, let's get to it. I want to go deeper into what she has to say because after she made this post, she began to go viral.
Message for Taylor Swift from a concerned.
Not this one.
Cancel Taylor
Good morning,
Swift.
TikTok. Wow, I can't even believe all the many messages and responses that I'm getting from my cancel Taylor Swift video. But I want to address one that I got this morning. And it said, as a Christian, you shouldn't demonize somebody. Well, newsflash, you can't demonize something that's already demonic. All I'm doing is simply calling a spade and calling Taylor Swift out on her quote, she's a Christian, because she does not act like a Christian. And the Bible says that we will be known by our fruits. I'm not trying to be mean about this. I'm just being real. I feel like the Holy Spirit is speaking to me. Obviously, I spoke to my daughter about getting rid of that stuff in our home and in our life. As Christians, we shouldn't be having 1 foot in the dark and 1 foot in the light. It doesn't work that way. The Bible says that he will spit out the lukewarm. So that's where I'm coming from. And I know a lot of other people besides me are feeling that too, because Taylor Swift does not represent a Christian, period. I think everybody has to do whatever God tells them to do. We're all on a different journey, a different walk, different experiences, and this is where I'm at. So for me to grow, I got to get rid of this crap. And like I said the other day, I'm shaking her off. I'm done. I'm done with Taylor Swift. And
now we go back and we look at which one do we have? Was it this woman?
Ford Homes.
No, not
and a
this
Ford
one.
home.
It was the one before this one. Nah, it was this woman right here. This woman.
It has been really...
This woman. Taylor Swift just told us she's now Republican. So we're looking at the differences that a year makes, right? This woman right here, just literally a couple of days before she makes this video, canceling Taylor Swift, had her merchandise, had a shrine of Taylor Swift in her home. Taylor Swift makes one endorsement and she begins to tell her daughter that she can't go to the concert. So we're going to keep going on because I want to get to the part where her daughter comes in and it's very awkward and weird. But let's look and see.
Good morning, everybody. So, wow, I woke up this morning and this story is blown up. Good, because I want to get the message out. But, you know, more than just getting to Taylor Swift, because obviously she doesn't care, I really just want to hit the Christians. So for those of you guys who are Christians, listen up. I think I said it in my other video for everybody to open
she gets
their
into a whole bunch of stuff about Christianity and stuff like that. That's not really the point of it. So then she continues to go on, right? And TMZ picked it up.
Oh my goodness, my video made TMZ. That's me.
Now she sees that she can make a little bit of money off of this. She's starting to pick up some visibility and some virality. So now she's going to start to try to clock a bag. Again, she just got done demonizing Taylor Swift for being a billionaire. However, you know, when the money starts to roll in and the I think it's more for clout. I'm not even sure that she cares as much about the money, although I don't think she'd mind buying herself a new handbag. But, you know, then it goes to that, right? Now, I want to continue to go on.
Holy smokes. I can't believe my last post had so many responses, but I gotta tell everybody, I feel so encouraged. So I want to give an update on how yesterday went, because when I made that video, I hadn't talked to my daughter yet. She was at school all day, and I had felt God telling me that I needed to sell my Taylor Swift tickets and cancel our trip. I was super nervous and just had butterflies in the pit of my stomach of how I was going to tell my daughter after school that we weren't going to be going to Taylor Swift on her 13th birthday, which she'd been looking forward to for so long. So I pick up my daughter from school and man, I'm so nervous. And I tell her, honey, I've got some bad news. And she looked at me like I was going to tell her somebody died. And I said, no, it's not, nobody died. But God told me that we're not to go to Taylor Swift. And she immediately started tearing up, crying. And then she looked at me and she said, Mom, I understand. So then I'm like, wow, I had this huge relief. I'm like, she understands? And so I just continued telling her, you know, what I did. And then I just kind of left it on God if the tickets would sell, which they did. They sold immediately.
Of course they sold immediately. But what I'm trying to figure out is what God and Taylor Swift have to do with one another. Like, should they even be in the same sentence? So was your worship of Taylor Swift at the same level as God and you had to make a decision on one or the other? It just becomes it starts to become a very, very weird situation. And, you know, I'm trying to figure out where she's going with this. We'll give her a little bit more time, then we'll show the video with her daughter and we'll move on from this.
Immediately. And she was so understanding. I mean, when a teacher was talking about things that God sometimes asks us to give up, and he was telling me that I needed to get rid of all of my Taylor Swift stuff. I wasn't supposed to go. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? God was already speaking to you yesterday? So now I'm super intrigued and I'm listening to her and I'm so encouraged. And she just goes on to tell me, yeah, God told her that she needed to get rid of all of her posters, all of her stuff, which she did on her own. I never had that conversation with her. I never told her she needed to give up any of her Taylor Swift things. And she said,
you just told her she wasn't going to the concert and she was planning on going until you told her she wasn't. Then she began to get rid of all her Taylor Swift stuff. All right, so I think, you know what? We can go straight into the video with her daughter. So this one is weird. This is after this video where she goes live to let her daughter speak. And her daughter, the strange thing about this is her daughter looks completely oblivious to everything. Like she was just thrown in the spotlight. She's trying to figure out what's going on. She's asking questions, just trying to understand what's going on. I'm not going to play a lot from this because I don't necessarily want to highlight her daughter in this, but I think it creates more understanding of what's going on. And, you know, you can judge for yourself how you think this behavior is by the mom.
Yeah, just wait for everybody to come in.
I'm so scared.
It's like her daughter doesn't even know what TikTok is yet.
It'll start up here.
Okay.
We'll just wait.
You hear it right
everybody
here.
to get on. Yeah, just wait for everybody to come in.
I'm so scared.
She says she's so scared, her daughter. Then she
It'll
says,
start
how do
up
we
here.
see how many people are on?
Okay.
We'll just wait. Wait for everybody to get on here and they can hear from you and ask questions.
Yeah, both of us though. 'Cause oh, you can change the filter? Oh, no, you can't. Nobody's on it. Oh, wait, there are people.
Hi, Patrick. How are you? So I was thinking that I would bring my daughter on because I've had so many messages about people saying I've got her brainwashed and she's so sad about not going to Taylor Swift and I'm such a terrible mother. Anyway, so if you have any questions, my Tay is right here. This is Tay.
Hi.
And yeah, she'll be.
So we got somewhat of a reverse situation where the parent's supposed to protect the kid, but now the kid is protecting the parent in some odd, strange way because she decided when her daughter was at school learning that she wanted to be on TikTok, fighting and arguing and talking religion and Taylor Swift in the same sentence. So here we are.
Be happy to answer anything, guys.
Yeah, your daughter's happy
everyone.
at 13.
Hey, I just want to thank you guys for your support and your encouragement. I just really felt this really strong on my heart for me to stand strong on this.
On her heart.
And again, like I said last time, I don't hate Taylor. I'm praying for her. I want Taylor Swift to come around and be a force for God.
I got to stop it right there because when we go to the other side of this, where everybody's angry at Taylor right now, today, like in 2025, a year later, is she going to be back on a Taylor Swift bandwagon? Is her daughter now going to be a fan of Taylor again? Because Taylor's basically, and you'll hear it, becoming a tradcon wife, traditional wife, tradcon, traditional. And now she's looking to settle down with Travis and have a white picket fence and a whole bunch of babies and ditch the cats and ditch the dogs and ditch the whole feminist ideology and everything that was supported before this. And now here we go, right?
Hello, how are you? This is my daughter that didn't get to go to Taylor Swift, or doesn't get to go. But she's okay with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tay, do you just want to maybe share why?
Yeah, okay. So, sorry. Recently, school has started for me, and we have this thing that we call a retreat. And there was this one night we were doing chapel, and there's this teacher that they were all sharing their testimonies and stuff. And there's this one teacher that was just really speaking to me and stuff, and she was just saying how when she was a kid, she had like the exact same problem that I had, and had this like one famous rock band that she really liked, and I was like, oh, this is so funny, goofing off with my friends and stuff. And then later, after her testimony,
I'm going to skip it up a little bit because we can't listen to this whole thing. And honestly, if you want to check her out, I'll give you her name is right here. I can show it to you right here. So we're actually going to move on from her.
Just to show you that, you know, we were just being obedient.
This is her channel
And
name.
I hope
You
you
can
guys
see the
will
date
be
right
too.
here.
We really can't support this as Christians. We cannot support these, especially artists that are calling themselves Christians and yet living like they're not.
So my thing is this, and we're going to move on from this, right? Because I'm not going to listen to her for another 10 minutes. But Taylor Swift was who she was before she came out in support for Kamala Harris. So are you saying that you were deceived and Taylor Swift was a sheep, or it was a sheep, wolf in sheep's clothing? Yeah, wolf in sheep's clothing, and you were deceived by her, and now you're seeing the light. So now that she is having the opposite views, which many people are saying, that now you're going to begin to support her again, I guess we'll find out, right? Because I'm pretty sure people are going to want to hear from her. I will not follow up on it whatsoever, but if you want to, you can. Now, I want to look at a couple other things, and we'll check out Taylor real quick, and we'll look at the cat situation.
SEXYY.
Shit, I gotta turn that off. This is Taylor with cats. She's doing this over Glorilla before her show that is going to be packed full of people probably in about 5 or 6 hours. I don't know what stadium that was. Okay. This is her with cats.
Cat. Look at it. Look at it. Look at this cat. Look at it. Look at my cat. Look at my cat. Look, look, look.
So Swift basically promoted a whole thing about, you know, she loves cats. She's a cat mom to the death. She's not looking to have any kids. Well, she doesn't have now, but her new album hints that she's ready to have babies. So then this woman comes on.
Taylor Swift is handing the conservative agenda on a silver platter to the masses. And before I go any further, and before you argue with me, you cannot convince me that the master lyricist of our generation, akin to Shakespeare, the Easter egg master of our generation, is not aware of what her entire optics and lyrics and album and everything is giving at this very moment. And before you suggest that this was supposed to be a satirical album, I would like to remind you how she feels about this album in her.
And I just want to go here. I just want to look at this one word because I really want to be super specific.
Cannot convince me that the master lyricist on a silver platter to the masses. And before I go any further, and before you argue with me, you cannot. Taylor Swift is handing the conservative agenda. I just want to really focus on this because we just got done just a year later talking about how Taylor Swift is terrible because she's not a conservative. Now we have current times where this woman that was proud of Taylor Swift just a year ago and rocked with everything she did because she supported Kamala Harris, now has turned her back on her and said, you know what? We hate Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is a conservative. In 12 months, now she's a conservative. Huh? It's a little weird, right? Let me go up. Let me go up. Platter to the masses. And before I go any further, and before you argue with me, you cannot convince me that the master lyricist of our generation, akin to Shakespeare, the Easter egg master of our generation, is not aware of what her entire optics and lyrics and album and everything is giving at this very moment. And before you suggest that this was supposed to be a satirical album, I would like to remind you how she feels about this album in her own words.
World to me to have this creative experience where like we knew that we had to bring the best ideas we've ever had.
Yeah.
And I also know the pressure I'm putting on this record by saying that, but I don't care because I love it that much. And there's not other ones coming. This is the record I've been wanting to make for a very long time.
Try to rapid fire this as fast as I can so that my video is not an hour long, but we're going to start with the rollout of the album, the announcement of the album on our boyfriend's football podcast. Our boyfriend who plays for the NFL, who we are now aligning our brand with, who is one of the most racist and problematic industries in our country. Yes. Listen, I don't know how long Taylor Swift's been doing this, but I know it's been a pretty good amount of time. She's worked pretty hard for her career. But why are we sharing what you are saying is the best piece of work you've ever put out and you're going to share it with a man? You're going to announce it with a... This is where the optic...
Okay, so what she said was very, very interesting. I just want to play this one part back. So right here, she says share it with a man. So a lot of times you look at it and you say, well, they don't like that she is giving up the cats, right? And that she's going to share her success and her greatness with a man. Might I say that Travis Kelce specifically, and probably most of the guys that she's dated. I mean, she dated Harry Styles. He's very famous, and all the other guys I don't know much more about. But, you know, he's no slouch himself, Super Bowl champion at least twice. So, you know, it doesn't really make a lot of sense because I'm pretty sure he's sharing with her a lot. But then again, this is the ideology, right? And the radicalism on both sides and the way that somebody can just turn on you that quick, right?
Announce it with a... This is where the optics are starting. We are creeping our way down the conservative pipeline. And before you say that's a reach, I'm not done. We all know what's coming next, the engagement. They got engaged as a package deal with the album rollout. Yes, they did. The album was announced, and 1 day later, 2 days later, it was announced that they were engaged. We could talk about how manufactured that is. We could talk about how inauthentic it is. We could also talk about how it is yet another step towards the conservative pipeline.
Okay, so what I want to talk about a little bit, because she's saying like, okay, now Taylor Swift has actually been in, how many did we count when we counted off all her relationships? We counted at least like 10 of them. I mean, conservatively, we counted at least 10 relationships she's been in. So, you know, when she's talking about her being engaged, I mean, wouldn't that be what you want after she's had so much heartbreak? Finally, she gets the love of her life and can spend it with one person. Or are you just waiting for a relationship that you championed at first, now because it's starting to go great as far as the optics of it, you want it to fail, crash, and burn. I want to go to another part. We're going to go to like 5 more talking points she had. Let me go up to 20, 28.
No, I'm not saying that. But the U.S. has a history of using pop culture to further a political agenda. She's doing what he wants everyone else to do, is to get married and have white babies. But I do know that she can.
Okay, so I agree with this. I think that the pop stars absolutely do promote politics, and anybody that looks at politics or pop stars or music stars and tries to get their political advice from them is dumb. Like, I mean, honestly, like they have nothing. They're just regular people that are good at music. They're not in any way a person that you should be looking to get political advice from. They're not trained in that area at all. And, you know, a lot of times what they do is just for payment and money. And you can look at it from a standpoint of, well, what happened with Kamala Harris and her campaign. She had a lot of, I mean, even Eminem came out and supported Kamala Harris, Beyonce. I mean, you can go down the list, right? So it's kind of crazy when you hear that. Let me see. Let's go 308.
Now to be canceled. See how that, see where we're taking steps. When I first heard the lyric, I'm not a bad bitch and I'm not a savage. If that is not the most dog whistly shit I've ever heard in my life. Moving on to wish list, let's take a moment for these lyrics. They want a fat ass and a baby face. They want freedom.
This part was
They
interesting.
want 3 dogs they call their kids. But I just want you. Have a couple kids, have the whole block looking like you. And say that again. I want to have your white babies, and I actually want our entire neighborhood to be racially homogenous. She went through this.
Look at it. Look at my cat. Look at my cat. Look at it. Look at this cat. Look.
This is Taylor Swift right here on her official page. This is what they want Taylor to have for the rest of her life right here. No kids, no nothing. Huh? And this woman right here, I mean, she's followed Taylor very closely. So she's completely shocked when Taylor says, you know what? I think I moved on from cats as them being my kids. Huh? And I want to have some actual children. I want to breastfeed. I want to do all the things. They're feeling very betrayed by Taylor.
Entire thing with Trump, right? About how she and her fan base did not like being called childless cat ladies. And now Taylor is calling y'all childless cat ladies because she's about to pop out some kids.
The hypocrisy of it. The hypocrisy of it all. No way. She did not get upset at JD Vance for the childless cat lady thing. And now here she is abandoning her cats for human children. This is insane.
And you know what's coming next? Taylor Swift line of baby product.
I agree with that. She's definitely going to put out a line of baby products. This woman right here is a prophecy. Let's check out one more thing from her. Was it 513? I think it was 513. Let me check. Let's go here. Yeah. I mean, we're getting no type of level of consistency out of these people. It's completely insane.
This is where I'm going to add, the comment that Travis Kelce made about him being honored to play football for Orange Man. And this is where I'm also going to answer your question. Well, does she owe us her political opinions? She's just a pop star. Well, yes, she does. She is a white woman with one of the most massive platforms in our world today. In Miss Americana, she platformed herself as an ally and monetized off of that. So do I expect a white woman with the biggest platform in the world to make moves with politics? Yeah.
How do white women feeling? All the white women, I want to hear from y'all. How do y'all feel about this? You feel like Taylor Swift turned her back on you? Now, the thing about it is that the black women ain't happy either. So let's hear what the black women got to say. They think Taylor's racist. So which one is it? What is it? I'm hearing from the black women.
Taylor Swift is obsessed with black women. Let's talk about it. Taylor Swift is obsessed with the fact that several of her exes have moved on to date black women. And she perceives this kind of conquering of Travis as an end or disruption of this pattern, and she's boasting about it in this album. Let's start with Opalite, which is very clearly about Kayla Nicole, Travis Kelce's ex-boyfriend whom he dated off and on from 2017 to 2022. And oh, Kayla Nicole happens to be black. The lyrics in Opalite could actually not be clearly more like targeting Kayla Nicole, right? It references a video that went viral a couple times in which Travis is literally berating Kayla for being on her phone. Meanwhile, she is an influencer, so that is weirdo behavior because she was working and it's very controlling. But it is very clear nonetheless that that video is referenced in Opalite. The lyric reads, "You couldn't understand it, why you felt alone. You were in it for real, she was in her phone, and you were just a pose," right? Like, Taylor could not have been more obvious and like less creative here. It's not enough to me that like Taylor is using this like crazy like worldwide medium to best a woman that like previously dated her ex. It's also the fact that like Taylor is fully aware that Kayla has received like relentless and racist harassment.
I want to bounce back and forth to this woman as well, because she breaks down the whole black thing a little bit deeper, where she talks about some type of opalite and I'll let her say it. She says it a lot better.
Taylor Swift has revealed herself to be resentful of black women, or at least...
I'm going to let her talk all the way through because she breaks it down way better than I can even begin to understand how deep this goes with the crystals and all that, and she even got graphics up. So let's let her actually rock out and see if Taylor Swift is actually...
You're racist.
I don't know. We're going to let her talk it out, though.
Least deeply insecure when it comes to comparing herself to black women. In the song Opalite, Taylor is referencing Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend, Kayla Nicole. The lyrics of Opalite include, "You were dancing through the lightning strikes, sleepless in the onyx night, but now the sky is opalite." So Taylor is not only using the lyrics in the song to talk about how she is so much better for Travis than his ex-girlfriend is, which is inconsiderate on its face. What did that lady ever do to you? But she is choosing to do that using the imagery of onyx, which is typically black, and opalite, which is typically white. Or in Eldest Daughter, Taylor says, "I'm not a bad bitch, and this isn't savage, but I'm never gonna let you down." The language of bad bitch and savage are primarily associated with black women, at least in this context, especially black women in hip hop. Both make me think of Megan Thee Stallion immediately. And there were rumors that Travis was trying to holler at Megan back in 2023, shortly before Travis and Taylor started dating. So I read this lyric as, "Sorry, I'm not a hot, cool black woman like he usually dates." Or in Wishlist, she says they want a fat ass and a baby face. Big booties are not unique to black women, but if we're all being honest here about the associations of black women's bodies over the last 400 years, big booties are and have been associated with black women. Now, could I understand why Taylor might be insecure about this? Yeah. Knowing that thousands, if not millions of people are looking at your man's exes and then looking at you like, huh? Would make me insecure too. But to be even relatively conscious of the trope of white men dating black women until it's time to settle down and have white babies, or the trope of men dating black women until they get richer or more famous, or to know the way that Kayla Nicole has been dragged to hell and back because her high-profile ex, a white man, started a very public relationship with one of the biggest pop stars in the world, a white woman, and how many people hurled racist jokes at her and black women generally for it, to know all that and still dunk on her one more time to your millions of loyal fans, for this to come up on at least 3 different songs in one album, for her to play into harmful tropes that she has to be aware of, and for so many of Taylor's fans to not notice or just not care, this album is simply not for me. There is enough thinly veiled racial resentment in the world toward black women. I don't need it in my pop bops.
So what do y'all think about what she just had to say about Taylor Swift being racist? I mean, she broke it down basically to a molecule. And I mean, Travis, he has been with a lot of black women. Travis, up to this point, has been with mostly black women, right? So, I mean, it does make a lot of sense that Taylor might be feeling a bit insecure, possibly, and has thrown some shots in her album. And if she's trying to maybe shift to a different base where the money's kind of going to, she might have absolutely did that on purpose. It might have been somewhat of a dog whistle. Now, again, she broke it down better than I could say. I don't know what y'all think about that. I think it makes sense from the way that she broke it down, but no, it is what it is. Let's go back to her real quick.
Oftentimes terrifying from Swifties in reaction to the fact that she previously dated Travis. So this is purposefully and blatantly violent. This song accomplishes two things at once, right? It proves the fact that Taylor Swift is obsessed with Black women, and it endangers Kayla Nicole. But obviously our country is not at its best with critical thinking, so let's analyze a different part of the song, right? So another lyric says, "But I'm not a bad bitch, and this ain't savage, but I'm never gonna let you down." So in this song, Taylor positions herself as this unique, singular white flower that is so different from what? Black culture. And once you step back and realize the song is final boss pick me X racism, you realize that Taylor Swift is preoccupied with this obsession with Black women, in part because Travis Kelce has predominantly dated Black women in the past. And she wants to define herself as different from his past and therefore better. Again, very weird, very pick-me behavior. Taylor's not only preoccupied with this idea that Travis has historically dated Black women, it's also the reality that several of her exes have moved on from her to Black women. And that confounds and ultimately enrages her. And she's so obsessed with the pattern and the idea that she had to talk about it in this album. Chris, give me examples. Okay, well, we have Harry Styles, who is now reportedly dating Zoe Kravitz. We have Tom Hiddleston, who has moved on to be engaged to and co-parent with a Black woman whose name is Zawe Ashton. And then we have Calvin Harris, who went on to marry a Black woman named Vic Hope. So it is a pattern, and Taylor Swift is clearly aware of it because she is obsessed with her exes, and all of that together is making me feel very, very strange. And ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today I'd argue that this idea, the idea that white men have historically left Taylor Swift for Black women, is part of her personal mythos, right? I imagine she finds it both confounding and devastating that these men have left her, who is the pinnacle of Western white beauty, right? She is the ideal white woman. Meanwhile, all of these white guys are leaving her for Black women, and I'm sure it's really pissing her off. So when Taylor secured Travis, she achieved the ultimate feat in her mind. She had convinced a white man to leave Black women for her, and the mythos is complete. She has disrupted the pattern. She is the queen bee yet again, and this album is all about her obsession with that weird mythos and her obsession with Black women. At the end of the day, you know and I know that Taylor Swift is a deeply calculated and intentional person, right? She drew up these lyrics and this 8th grade symbolism very intentionally. It's very red-pilled and incredibly macro-aggressive. So I guess the moral of my story here is you Swifties, the ones who refuse to call her out on her bullshit are the same exact type of white feminist that she is. You protect bigots and you traffic in and enjoy anti-Black bullshit. And
flawless victory.
You're a racist.
So what do y'all think about the whole racism thing? These two women broke it down to the point where I don't really have to say much more about it, but it's not looking good for Tay Tay. Let's see. I gotta wrap it up, guys. We still got to get to our warm heart. All right, hold on. Let me see. I think I got a couple more. Let's check her out.
My favorite thing about this whole Taylor Swift's new album discourse is the Taylor Swift fans that don't know what to do with themselves because they don't like it. They feel like they're sinning. I don't know what spell she has these people under, but I keep seeing videos of girls being like, okay, maybe on my 5th listen, in the car, on my lunch break, on the way to get a coffee, I'll like the album. Maybe if I go on Genius and I memorize all the lyrics.
All right. These women are going to continue to go on and go crazy. And there's even some men that did it. I want to let Taylor speak, though, real quick. I want to let Taylor get her point of view off real quick because we haven't heard from Taylor. So let's hear what Taylor got to say about all this. All right, we got it right here. This is what she has to say about her new album after all the criticism and backlash. Oh, hold on, I need the sound. Hold on.
Well, the rule of show business is if it's the first week of my album release, and you are saying either my name or my album title, you're helping. And art, I have a lot of respect for people.
She kind of looking like Donald Trump in the face a little bit. I'm serious. Y'all don't see it? Look at that. Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. Go ahead, Swifties, do it. I'll take the arrows. She looking a little bit orange.
art. I have a lot of respect for people's subjective
I don't want to take no
opinions
arrows. I'm
on
playing.
art.
I'm playing.
I'm not the art police. It's like everybody is allowed to feel exactly how they want. And what our goal is as entertainers is to be a mirror. Oftentimes an album is a really, really wild way to look at yourself, right? What you're going through in your life is going to affect whether you relate to the music that I'm putting out at any given moment. And what I often love seeing my fans say is, I used to be someone who didn't like relate to Reputation. And now that I've been through some other things in my life, that's my favorite album. Or I used to be a like fearless girly. Now I'm obsessed with Evermore. Like, and we're doing this thing for keeps. Like, I have such an eye on legacy when I'm making my music. I know what I made. I know I adore it. And I know that, like, on the theme of what the showgirl is, all of this is part of it.
Yeah, and she knows that, like, and yeah, she just totally gets it because, like, her fan base and everything. And yeah, okay, you get it. So you're not mad anymore. Go buy my album. Go buy my vinyl. Go to my concerts. Get all my merch. Put shrines up in your closet. And make sure that you change the incense out every single day, okay? I am Taylor Swift.
Are you still mad?
She's asking y'all, are you still mad? Is this enough? She responded to y'all. Y'all wanted the response from Taylor, and she gave it. She just said it right here. You heard it from Taylor Swift's mouth. All right, we'll close out on one more girl. We'll let her talk for a few seconds.
Oh, this album of Taylor's was horrible. Oh my God, what is she doing? Exactly what she's always done?
I think she actually encapsulates all this in a very neat package with a pretty little ribbon on it.
Sound incredibly mediocre, provide nothing poetic, and then exploit her fans to buy 16 different versions of it. That's what she's doing, and that's what she's always done. I'm sorry, but this is a grown woman who knows exactly what she's doing. I am under the firm, confident belief that she emotionally abuses her fans. I've always felt that. You shouldn't have to watch a film or go see something in person or buy a piece of something or buy 5 albums, 5 different versioned albums just to understand what she wants you to understand. Talk about a cult mentality. And none of her fans hold her accountable to it. They're just like, oh my God, I'll do it, I'll buy. And then in the same breath, scream about capitalism and taxing the rich. She's always been this way. Why do you think in her 30s, she's just now settling down despite having 100 different boyfriends? And it just so happens that all of them were the problem. Every single time. It was never her. You guys don't remember a few years back when she sent a literal cease and desist simply because an innocent person exposed her carbon emission footprint? You guys don't remember that from all the private jet rides she takes everywhere? She has quite literally never been an ethical person. She's also never been talented. Back in like 2009, she had a few bangers, like iconic bangers, but it's never been good since then. And
even her, she can't even say that she just completely hates Taylor because she said it early on. Can I go back to that spot?
Watch a film or go see something in person or buy a piece of something or buy 5 albums, 5 different versioned albums just to understand what she wants you to understand. Talk about a cult mentality. And none of her fans hold her accountable to it. They're just like, oh my God, I'll do it, I'll buy. And then in the same breath, scream about capitalism and taxing the rich. She's always been this way. Why do you think in her 30s, she's just now settling down despite having 100 different boyfriends? And it just so happens that all of them were the problem. Every single time. It was never her. You guys don't remember a few years back when she sent a literal cease and desist in different versions of it? That's what she's doing, and that's what she's always done. I'm sorry, but this is a grown woman who knows exactly what she's doing. I am under the firm, confident belief that she emotionally abuses her fans. And
I'm going to stop it right there. That's the point I was trying to get to. Emotional abuse. And, I think that women naturally do this. Not the more physical dominant of the human species. They usually lean on emotions and verbal and psychological abuse, and Taylor Swift is just giving back what they give out. And that's why you see a lot of women crashing out, confused, and not knowing what the hell is going on based off of the way that Taylor Swift is moving right now. And with that, she keeps you sucked in her vortex and continues to extract money out of you at an alarming rate to the point where you begin to go broke. And I actually had one more woman that I don't even got time to play, but she actually said it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get it right here. I got to. Just cause I care about y'all so much, I'm gonna give you this before I close out.
Taylor Swift is handing the conservative agenda on a silver platter to the masses. And before I go any further,
it's this one.
So what do you guys think Beyonce has planned for her 44th birthday?
And I want to say that this is the same woman that we played that was mad about the whole cat thing. This is her literally like 9 months before she was just angry at Taylor Swift. This is her right here talking about how you should go broke to support her.
I was not going to let you forget that I told you months ago.
Not Taylor Swift, Beyonce.
You needed to make a backup savings account for Beyonce's 44th birthday. It could be nothing. It could be something. It could be nothing. It could be something. She only turns 44 once. Beyonce only turns 44 years old once in her life. September 4th, 2025. And whatever it is, whatever she's planning, whatever she's going to do is going to require coins. It's going to require full dollar bills and not the ones that shout out of the confetti cannons at the shows. This is your official warning to not order that food delivery tonight, to eat some chicken nuggets out of the freezer instead for the next couple months. Make coffee in the pot for the next few weeks, just to rack up some cash. And you know what? If it's nothing, at least you save some money.
So there it is. She's telling me that she will go broke, and many of these people will go broke just to support their favorite celebrity. So I can understand why they're so mad when she says something that they don't agree with, because they literally spend their entire lives idolizing someone that doesn't even know they exist. And with that, I think we're going to end it. We're going to end it as far as the Taylor Swift thing. And I am actually very, very disturbed in the way that these human beings are acting. And it's very interesting. Now, again, I wasn't going to go into this from a standpoint of the way that her album sounds and all of that type of stuff. I want to look at it more from a standpoint of just what's going on with Taylor. Let me get this stuff out there. There we go. What's going on with Taylor. And, you know, I always look at things more from a human standpoint, not political, not views and all that type of stuff. And I think emotional abuse was a very good way to put it. And she has this stronghold on her fans' feelings. And I think it works very well for her to extract a lot of money out of them. I need to go into the positive story of the day because that's how we always end no matter what. So I want to get into this.
Stay right there.
Becomes hero.
He's coming to you. Just a minute. See, they're coming.
He gonna give the garbage man some cookies. So cool. Watch this. He brings him into the truck. And watch this moment right here. Look at this moment.
Tell him what's today, Kyler?
What's today?
How old are you today?
You too?
3.
3? What today is? Tuesday?
That's my birthday.
Today your birthday, man? I'm gonna have to get something. Hold on.
Look at this. This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. He actually is looking up to people that are waste collectors. And anybody that ever tries to disrespect somebody that collects waste, the trash men, the trash women, just understand that they're the reason why we're living in times where we don't have trash on the street, where people aren't throwing buckets of waste out of their window, why your streets are clean and not ravaged in a whole bunch of garbage, right? Because they don't have to do this job. It's a very selfless job.
I'll try my best to hurry up and get over here until you see I'm a whole hour early, just so I can see you.
He came an hour early to see this kid.
So probably a couple of weeks.
I'm gonna have you something. Your granny gonna let me know ahead of time before you come. I'm gonna have you something for your birthday. if I'd have known today was your birthday, I'd have had something for you, okay?
Okay.
What you say you want?
Rubble. He likes Rubble.
What's this?
Paw Patrol.
Okay, the dog?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make sure I find you some Paw Patrol, okay? Rubble, I'll get Rubble for you. Yeah, I'm gonna get, when I get Rubble, if I don't see you, I'm gonna go get him and I'm gonna bring it to your granny, and your granny will have it for whenever you come.
Say okay. You say bye-bye. Bye, guys.
And I want to stop it right there. And, you know, it's Friday, so this is the last live stream of our week. And I definitely want to end on this note. We did do a Feel Good Friday today, so we just kind of talked about a whole bunch of stuff that was technically nonsense for the most part, but it's interesting to watch and listen to because, you know, the way that people are emotionally invested in someone that doesn't care about them is insane. But these people right here that are coming to pick your trash up every day, well, they actually care about you much more than Taylor Swift. And it's not even close. It's not even close. You can't even begin to compare the two and the amount of work that goes into what they're doing. And this guy actually taking time out of his day to come there an hour early and make sure that he gives this kid an incredible experience. And we even talked about a lot of these people that feel like they're better than us. We talked about Katie Porter yesterday. If you didn't see yesterday's stream, it's definitely one you should go check out. And she wouldn't even take a picture with her fan. This kid, by all intents and purposes, may not even remember this moment unless he sees it in a picture or this video. And it's completely incredible how this guy is actually gonna begin to remember this kid's birthday and bring him a rollie from Paw Patrol. So my thing is just like, we have to have a better level of human decency and not try to emotionally abuse and hurt people. Because I will say this, a lot of people only talk about the physical abuse. A lot of people only talk about this, this, and this. But in my honest opinion, I believe that emotional abuse is worse than physical abuse. And I know it's a controversial take, and someone might try to clip this up and be like, well, he said this, but you can go ahead and look at this picture right next to me and keep that in the clip and understand that the way that a person perceives life and looks at things is going to be far more important than when that same kid falls down and scrapes his elbow and has a little scar on his arm, rather than if this garbage collector would have came by him and said something mean to this kid and drove off without giving him any acknowledgement. He would remember that far more than he would remember having his arm scraped because he fell down rollerblading. And it's almost disgusting the way that some people act. But we're not going to be like those people. We're going to be like this man right here. He's a true hero. He is a true person that you should be looking up to. It shouldn't be a Taylor Swift. It shouldn't be a Katie Porter and anybody else that we spoke about this week that has misled the people. Those are not your idols. Those are not the people that are making the world a better place. Absolutely not. It's these guys right here. And let me get his partner in real quick too. Let me get his partner in right. You see his face right there? And I'm going overtime just because I really want to show this. Look at how happy he genuinely is just to see this kid happy. And this kid's going to have a great future. And from this point moving on, I believe all of you will too, if you haven't up to this point already. I got to go. I'm DotSale. I appreciate y'all. I'm not even gonna say nothing on the intro out. Just listen to the music and reflect a little bit. Because we all need to start thinking a little bit more.